What if the ancient wisdom of Stoicism could be the missing link between your daily struggles and your search for God? For years, I believed that philosophy and faith were two separate worlds, one for the mind, the other for the soul, but the more I explored Stoic teachings, the more I realized how these practical tools for living can actually prepare us for a deeper spiritual journey. Have you ever wondered if mastering your mind and emotions could bring you closer to the divine? In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism doesn't just make you stronger or calmer, it prepares your heart and mind for a real encounter with God. Whether you're religious, spiritual, or just searching for meaning, you might be surprised at how much these ancient ideas can open the door to something greater. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control, accept what we cannot, and cultivate inner peace regardless of our circumstances. Founded by thinkers like Zeno and later shaped by figures such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming cold. Instead, it's about understanding the nature of life, training our minds to respond wisely, and finding freedom within ourselves in today's world. Where chaos and uncertainty seem to be everywhere, Stoicism offers practical tools for resilience and clarity. Imagine being able to face setbacks, criticism, or even loss and still remain steady inside. That's the promise of Stoicism, not a life without pain, but a life where pain doesn't control you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by things outside your control, Stoicism steps in to remind you your power lies in your response, not in the world around you. Deep down, almost everyone feels a longing for something greater, a sense of meaning, purpose, or connection that goes beyond daily routines. Even when life seems fine on the surface, there's often a quiet ache inside, a question that won't go away. Is this all there is? Why do I feel empty, even when I have what I thought I wanted? This search for God or for something transcendent is as old as humanity itself. People have always looked for answers in philosophy, religion, art, and even in moments of silence. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote that our deepest drive is not pleasure or power, but meaning. C.S. Lewis described his own journey from atheism to faith as a search for joy, a longing that nothing in this world could satisfy. Maybe you've felt it too, a sense that there must be more, that your soul is restless for a reason. Philosophy, and especially Stoicism, can help prepare us for this search. It gives us tools to clear away distractions, face our fears, and get honest about what we truly seek. Before we can find God, we often need to prepare the ground inside ourselves for something greater to take root. One of the core principles of Stoicism is acceptance and surrender. The Stoics teach us to recognize what is within our control and what is not, and to let go of the need to control everything. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, faced constant challenges, war, betrayal, illness, yet he wrote about accepting fate with calm and dignity. This kind of surrender isn't weakness, it's a deep strength. In spiritual life, surrender is also essential. Letting go of our illusions of control makes space for God to work in us. When we accept what we cannot change, loss, disappointment, uncertainty, we open ourselves to grace and transformation. Imagine facing a painful loss or a setback. Instead of fighting reality or blaming yourself, you pause, breathe, and say, "This is hard, but I accept it." That moment of acceptance is where both Stoicism and faith begin to overlap. Another key Stoic idea is that virtue is the highest good. For the Stoics, true happiness doesn't come from wealth, status, or comfort, but from living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Epictetus, who was born a slave, taught that no one can take away your freedom to choose virtue. Even in chains, he found a kind of inner freedom that no external force could touch. This focus on character is echoed in many spiritual traditions. Faith isn't just about beliefs, it's about becoming a better person, more honest, more compassionate, more just. When you choose integrity over convenience or kindness over anger, you're practicing both Stoic and spiritual virtues. These small daily choices shape your soul and prepare you for something greater. Mindfulness and presence are also central to Stoic practice. Seneca wrote about the shortness of life and the importance of being fully present in each moment. The Stoics encourage us to notice our thoughts, observe our emotions, and return our attention to the here and now. This is strikingly similar to spiritual practices like prayer and meditation, which require us to quiet the noise and focus on the present. When you're anxious about the future or stuck in regrets about the past, you miss the chance to encounter the divine in this moment. Stoicism trains us to come back to ourselves, to breathe, to notice, to be. In that stillness, many people find a doorway to God. Humility and self-reflection are also vital. The Stoics urge us to know ourselves, to question our motives, and to admit our limitations. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal, not to show off, but to remind himself of his flaws and to strive for improvement. In spiritual life, humility is the first step towards seeking something greater than yourself. When you recognize your own limits, your need for help, your inability to control everything, you become open to grace. Daily reflection, whether through journaling, prayer, or honest conversation, helps you see where you need to grow and where you need guidance. Finally, Stoicism teaches endurance and hope. The phrase amor fati, love of fate, means embracing whatever life brings, not just with resignation, but with a kind of love. Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of a concentration camp, wrote that those who found meaning in suffering were able to endure almost anything. Stoicism gives us the tools to withstand hardship, but faith adds another layer: hope. When you face suffering with both strength and hope, you're not just surviving, you're preparing your soul for something beyond this world. Stoicism builds resilience, faith gives it direction. Stoicism can take you far. It can make you resilient, wise, and calm in the face of life's storms. But even the greatest Stoic thinkers recognized the limits of philosophy alone. Stoicism teaches us how to endure suffering, but it doesn't always answer the deepest questions about meaning, love, or what happens after death. There comes a point when self-mastery and acceptance are not enough, when you reach the end of your own strength and realize you need something more. Many people throughout history have found that philosophy prepared them for a leap of faith. C.S. Lewis, for example, was a brilliant thinker and skeptic who eventually realized that reason alone could not satisfy his deepest longings. He described his journey as moving from the shadowlands of ideas into the bright reality of faith. Maybe you felt it too. After all the self-help, all the mental training, there's still a hunger that nothing in this world can fill. That's where faith begins, at the edge of what you can do for yourself, in the space where you open your heart to something greater. Stoicism prepares the ground, but faith is the seed that grows into something eternal. If you want to use Stoicism as a foundation for a deeper spiritual life, start with small, practical steps. Begin a daily journaling practice, just like Marcus Aurelius did each morning or evening. Write down your thoughts, your struggles, and what you're grateful for. This habit helps you become more aware of your inner world and prepares you for honest self-reflection. Practice acceptance and surrender in your daily life. When something happens that you can't control, pause and remind yourself, this is outside my power, but I can choose my response. Try combining this with prayer or meditation, using moments of stillness to let go of anxiety and open yourself to something greater. Seek virtue in your choices. Ask yourself, what is the wise, just, or compassionate thing to do right now? These small acts of integrity build your character over time. Finally, reflect on your own limits and your need for help. Admitting that you can't do everything alone is not a weakness. It's the first step toward real spiritual growth. By blending Stoic exercises with spiritual practices, you create space in your life for faith to take root and grow. If you've ever felt lost, anxious, or spiritually empty, you're not alone. So many of us carry silent struggles, questions we're afraid to ask, pain we try to hide, a sense that something is missing even when everything looks fine from the outside. I've been there too, in moments when life felt overwhelming and nothing seemed to make sense. What helped me wasn't just reading more books or trying to think positive, but learning to face my fears honestly, to accept what I couldn't change, and to open myself to something greater than my own willpower. Stoicism gave me the tools to survive the storms, but faith gave me hope that there was meaning in the struggle. You're stronger than you think, and you are made for more than just getting by. When you combine the wisdom of Stoicism with the openness of faith, you begin to see that your life has purpose even in the hardest moments. This journey isn't about being perfect, it's about being real, being present, and being willing to grow. Stoicism is not the end, but the beginning of a journey toward God. By learning to accept what you cannot control, to seek virtue, to be present, and to reflect honestly on your life, you prepare your heart for something greater than yourself. This week, try one Stoic practice, maybe journaling or simply pausing to accept a difficult moment and notice how it shapes your spirit. Reflect on what you're truly seeking and consider how philosophy and faith might work together in your life. I'd love to hear your story. How have philosophy or faith shaped your journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more on philosophy, faith, and living a meaningful life. Join our community. We're on this journey together, and you don't have to walk it alone.